Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another anime episode review. I am the Rat, and this is the Rat's Nest. I am joined, as always, by Kyle. Say hi, Kyle.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we are discussing Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the Shibuya Incident, episode, 24 or something.
No, Brandon, this is a
true.
23 episode season. You can't have that.
It is a 23 episode season, isn't it? Episode 19, Right and Wrong, Part 2. This was, I enjoyed the episode. I will say it did not fly by as fast as Frieren's episode did this week, or Frieren's. I don't know how to pronounce the name. They say it Frieren, but Frieren. I don't know. Yada. Who cares? I don't care. The episode didn't fly by, but it wasn't a bad episode by any metric at all. What did you think about it, Kyle?
Yeah, it didn't fly by because the second half was boring. I'll just come out and say it.
Look. Okay. Let's just get straight into it. Let's just get straight into it.
We'll dive in first.
We've established our characters and our character dynamic here, Kyle. Okay, so the first half of the episode, obviously, Yuji versus Mahito, Mahito versus Nobara. Quote in quotes, because as you know, if that's even a real fight. And then the second half is Nobara backstory. Now, my perspective on it is I don't care about Nobara.
Same. My
perspective on Jujutsu Kaisen itself is that in general, like the beginning of it, I never, from watching season 1 of the anime and then reading the manga up through Shibuya back 2 years ago plus whenever we did that. I guess it was just a little over a year ago, wasn't it? It was 2022 we read it. I guess it was just a little over a year ago, but was it 2022? Yeah, it was. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was early 22, so it's been about 2 years. I was never hooked on the characters of Megumi or Nobara. Megumi's catching some side bullets here. But I never cared about the quote-unquote Jujutsu Kaisen Big Three of Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi. Now, I love Yuji. I love Yuji, but like the idea of the Big Three, I don't know, it never hooked me. Megumi, I have liked more as his character has gotten a bit more developed in the manga. And then recently he had a great fight. We should go ahead and say spoilers for the manga. Kyle and I are both caught up. Obviously I'm a little biased towards Megumi now. Because 10 Shadows is objectively one of the coolest curse techniques, as we got to see it in its full potential against Gojo, with the goat himself. But Nobara never inspired me in her time, and so her death episode was kind of just more funny than anything else. Hilarious.
We will talk about some specific stuff there, but I wish, I'll try to add on a little bit more to what you said, but I think no pun intended here, you hit the nail on the head.
Her curse technique, that's crazy. Is that a curse technique? I don't know, I forgot because it's so boring.
Like how she got hit in the head. Whoa.
That's crazy.
But with Nobara, right, I just think of it like this, okay? With a series like Jujutsu Kaisen, and its cursed energy, domain expansion, its entire power system, right? You look at its whole power system, and there's just so many more intriguing characters and abilities that you could just sink your teeth into. And with Nobara, right? I felt the same way at first. I never cared about Megumi or Nobara, but over time, I think, because we get to see more of Megumi post Shibuya,
even then, I mean, not even just, funny Sukuna takes over his body and uses 10 Shadows.
Yeah, everything before
his fight against Reggie is awesome.
Oh, it's a really good fight.
I love it.
And we see how he stands out amongst the others, where, I mean, he, even to the end, he goes to kill Reggie, and Reggie's like, oh, it'll be a curse to come back to haunt you. And, everyone else doesn't do murder to get what they want, yet he does.
There's also his connection with Toji, and Toji is a goat, so...
Yes. There's a lot given to him. But with Nobara, right, her as a character, I'll use your wording here, not really much about her as a character inspires anything in me. I don't feel anything when I see her as a character or when I see her as a fighter.
I remember watching, so whenever I watched season 1 of the anime back, whenever I did, about 2 years ago, I guess, like at that time, I still wasn't a huge shonen guy, and like I don't know. I am a shonen guy at this point. I don't think it's right for me to say that I'm not, because I am. But like even at that point in time when I was kind of like still becoming a shonen guy, you know, I read One Piece and JoJo's. I saw her power, and I I remember thinking and feeling that's lame.
Also, I just want to say one thing. I want to make this known. There's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with simple powers.
Yeah, because you can do simple powers really well.
Some people might hear what we're saying and they might misconstrue it as like disliking simple powers. I mean, just because JJK has a lot of complex powers, that doesn't mean it has any lack of simple powers that are used very well. I mean, even like Mahito's is just a simple power. It's just transmutation.
And like look at Chozo, like his thing is just blood manipulation.
Todo, one of my all-time favorites. All he does is clap and swap places. Like that's it.
That's extremely simple. If you want to go as simple as humanly possible, Yuji punches good.
Yuji.
No. You know what? I can go even simpler. Sukuna, like okay, right? Yuji doesn't have a curse technique. Sukuna just cuts. Sukuna cuts really, really good. And he has one of the best fights in the series. He has the best fight in the series. Sorry, I almost misspoke.
Yeah. But that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with the simple power, but I feel like with her hammers, I've always said this. I genuinely, like this isn't based on anything like evidence that I've seen from whatever Gege has said. It's just, I really do think that Nobara's powers are some kind of lingering concept from his previous ideas involving the cursed energy system. I don't know. So something about the hammer and nail ability, it never struck me as this is a power in this world.
I mean, like kind of my thought on it, and this ties into me like thinking I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of lame. Like whenever I first saw it all, like it just feels like a power that like you would see in a shonen. It's like, oh, look at this chick. She can imbue nails with the power system energy, and shoot them at people. Like there's nothing distinct enough about it to make it really feel like a curse. I don't know. I don't think that's a great way of describing.
Like adding one extra.
I don't think that's a great way of describing that, because like it's kind of hard to explain, because like. You could say like, oh, well, there's nothing specific about, the curse technique system for the boogie woogie, right? That he just claps his hand, and then, I don't.
But there's a lot of depth to it. That is one of my favorite 2v1s in an anime. I will defend that.
Because I don't know if that's how I want to describe. No, but it just feels different.
I could try to add on to that, but I gotta defend the boogie woogie here. Whenever you clap, you induce a dreading sense of PTSD in your opponent, and I love that.
I love the boogie woogie.
Whenever you clap, your opponent has to think of they have to think 1,000 steps ahead, and if they miscalculate once, they just get fucked over, and it's really funny. Great. But with Nobara's, right? Even taking something as simple as if she hammered something together and welded objects together, or put it in a nail and removed it and could dismantle objects. Just it feels like this is the basic level for what her ability should be, and that there's an upper echelon to it missing. There's the one step above what's already happening with her ability, missing for making it a really cool curse technique.
She could at least use something cooler than a hammer and nails. The hammer and nails kind of hold her back, because Megami gets to summon shadow wolves, and Yuji gets to punch with black energy, and Nanami has the sick ass knife, and he works in an office, and Gojo is Gojo, and Sukuna is the goat, and I wrote him daily. Nobara just went to Home Depot.
The thing is, anyone could do what she does, right? Anyone could imbue ordinary objects.
Theoretically, yeah. Maybe that's what it feels like.
Because, with Yuji, right? People can try to fight like Yuji, but nobody can do it quite like Yuji. Or with Megami, people feel like their abilities are part of their identity. With Nobara's, what does the hammer and nails really do for her or for her identity or for her as like a interesting fighter character? And now I get, not every character needs to be like that, but she's one of the main 3 in a series with all of these far out there powers. I don't know. I feel like we're kind of going in circles here. The hammer and nail. The one best part about her ability, right? I'll give her credit here, is the resonance against Mahito. But that's A, extremely situational, and B, it only happens once. That's it. What if it was like she could damage people through their techniques, right? Like, what if let's say she fought Megami, right? And let's say that she like hit the wolf with a hammer and nail, that hurts Megami. Like, if people were careless about what they did with their techniques, she could hurt them from it. Just give her something more is all.
What if, we could brainstorm years and years. Like, there are more interesting ways, like to have her, like, for like just randomly, like a random thought I had in the last 2 seconds. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be neat if like whenever she hit a hammer and nail at something, like it like affixed it into space?
Yeah.
Like, we just it's not an inherently flawed ability.
Like if it hit Mahito's hand, Mahito would have to like chop off his hand because the hand would just be like stuck in the air.
Yeah, I think that kind of thing. Like, you could obviously, what do you call it? I don't think, I will say, I love Greg. I think that Greg is a great writer. He could have handled Nobara a lot better, and that includes, segue, her backstory. Well, so let's talk her backstory.
Right? Should we talk about what happens moments before where she forgets that she has legs?
So, I thought that when she got with Yuji, her and Yuji worked together for a little bit. I must have just been misremembering.
Or like she tried. Like
she goes down immediately. And
we had different thoughts.
Just immediately gets clapped by Mahito.
Because you thought that she stares at him. I thought Mahito like flicked like a part of him at her and like hit her in the face. I don't know why I thought that, but like I just we both kind of
gave her more credit than
than what Greg gave her. Because Yuji just sees her and it's like, oh no, bro, look out! As Mahito runs up at her, sticks his arm out, like does the sweeping motion and just grasps her by the face.
And she's just immediately like, I had to pause it because I was like, there's no way. I was like, that can't be the death. I was like, I remembered her putting up more of a fight here,
but she did not. And yeah, that does lead us into the backstory. But I was just. I was not really engaged with it. I will be honest.
Yeah, it's not a bad backstory. Aforementioned, I don't really care about Nobara, so just naturally, I'm not really going to care about her backstory, and it's not one of those backstories that like for a character, like, because there are sometimes a character that like you might not care for or might not really care about can have a backstory. You're like, dang, that's really really good. I really like that character now. Nobara's is just like, she was in the village. And it's from the perspective of a character we never see again, which is always odd. Always an odd choice. And we get to see where it's like, she lived in this village and she was like, didn't like how like there was like no like privacy or whatever. Like it was like really like stuffy and like cramped in the village, and she didn't like it. And there was this girl there that was like a really nice like older sister to her, but then she moved away because like people vandalized her house because like they were outsiders, and then Nobara left for Tokyo High to get out of the town. And that's your backstory.
Like that's it.
It works. Like it's not a poorly written backstory. It's good. Nobara's character is fun. She's a fun loving type gal.
there's really nothing else to say.
I'm fumbling over my words here because it's like, what else could I say about it? It's sad whenever the older sister girl moves away, because it's like, oh yeah, Nobara's sad because she lost her friend, and then she moves away, and it's like, oh, it's sad. They're never gonna see each other again. Just objective, like her and Fumi, I think her name.
And then her friend's like, oh, I wonder if Nobara's doing well. As it cuts back to Nobara after getting touched by Mahito.
Yeah.
And I will say, so we've been kind of negative on Nobara, right? We've been kind of negative. I'll give this episode, just like the writing itself, some good credit here. One, I said it already, but also I'll reiterate. I appreciate the fight that she had with Mahito in like the back alley. I think giving like the resonance part of her, like giving that to her was just something. Yeah, it was something to appreciate. And two, I thought that they like them who in the anime specifically for this one, I thought that they animated like the body drop like eerily well.
We didn't get to see her face. Hopefully that's next episode.
You did not get to see her face.
And they changed the chick's hair color. The older chick that Nobara knew that moved out. They changed her hair color.
I have no idea.
In the manga, in the flashback, her hair was like shaded in, and then in the flash forward, it was not shaded in. And I don't think they changed it in the anime.
No, Brandon.
I think it was the same shade both times.
You really care that much?
Yes, I do. Look. If human rights abuses are going to happen at Mappa, they'd better at least get the hair color of a minor character right over it.
I'm honestly more happy that you couldn't finish the bit without laughing, guys. Yeah, just I don't know. Like for being the Nobara episode.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, like I think that Nobara's character is fine. She works, but I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, she is a plot device. Her death, the point of her character at this point is probably she could come back. She could come back. At this point, the point of her character has been to die in front of Yuji, which is kind of based on Greg's part. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of based on his part.
But we already had that. Sort of.
No, but Yuji needs to suffer more, dude. I just, in terms of like Nobara's handlement in the manga and since her death, there's just because quote unquote so little happens before Shibuya. There's not much of a chance before Shibuya for Nobara's character to really shine. There was the fight against Yuji's younger brothers, and it's pretty forgettable, honestly.
She gets weird. I forget what happens, but she gets
I can't remember.
Like rose tattoos, and she like gets a power boost.
But it's like that's it. It's forgettable. And like even here, like she didn't even put I thought that she put up a little fight against Mahito, and it was like, oh, Mahito had to like strategize a little bit to be
wing the hammer.
She got jobbed. She got absolutely jobbed. Like.
No. Jobbed implies that we needed to see. Jobbed implies a lot more. I'm gonna say job. No. Jobber is too good of a title for Nobara here. I'll say it. Jobber.
She's lower than the two unnamed jobbers from Field Hero. Is that what you're saying?
You would use that to try to to gas up another character. Like the point of a character getting jobbed is to make another one look like we already know Mahito's a really strong character. So, like now Bito against, he was, to be fair, he was injured. But whenever Jogo showed up and roasted him, like that would be a better use for the term. No, Nobara scales below it. I'm sorry. She does. She did absolutely nothing. I think that was my least favorite part here.
And that's pretty sad. I think that her character could have been cool. Because we saw what Greg turned Megami into. And, we could talk about Greg's use of Megami after Sukuna took over his body. And we could talk about how, admittedly, Greg did kind of fumble the ball with Sumiki / Yorozu. We could talk about that,
Okay, but Brandon,
I love Greg.
Hear me out.
I love Greg. He's not perfect. He actually isn't great at times, but it's all Nobara's fault.
Okay, but hear me out, Brad.
Yeah, of course.
He tanked 5 of Gojo's domain expansions. That was really funny.
Life update. It ended.
Just man.
Every single week on Twitter, looking at it and just seeing the life update, it got worse during the Gojo Sukuna fight, and then just to have it peak after Sukuna fully incarnated and supposedly fully killed Megumi, just life update, it's ended.
Oh man, like even stuff right here, like there's stuff that you can laugh about or joke with all these other characters, and like there's just nothing really to be, there's nothing that I really get from Nobara aside from I'm not gonna willingly throw out the word like wasted potential, but I will say I do not believe that Nobara lived up to all the potential that she had.
I mean, I think that saying this is going to sound horrible. I think wasted potential implies the character like was set up to have potential.
Oh, that is where
like that sounds horrible. But
all right,
okay,
JJ fans,
let me cook. Let me cook.
Fans, cook him.
No. Let me cook. I don't think that from the beginning Nobara was set up for success. Like I think that looking at how her character worked in the manga, I say worked. She's not coming back. If she comes back, I don't know. If she comes back, Gojo's coming back. Just objectively, if she comes back, that's going to happen.
Sukuna by hitting Yuji, and because Yuji is a part of Sukuna, Sukuna gets hurt.
That's so true. But she served her purpose, right? Like, she was brought in. She had a couple neat fights, and then she was Yuji's friend, and then she was part of his motivation after he died. She's basically like Nanami. I wouldn't say that Nanami had wasted potential because he died in Shibuya. I think he's a much better character than Nobara. Just because
that's not even a debate. You're throwing hands at no one. Like you're shadow boxing with no one. Like you're just right.
I think that yes, you could have done a lot more with Nobara, but it wasn't like she was set up to be this grand, amazing character and fighter. I mean, it'd be like if Gojo, after establishing what Unlimited Void is, got shot in the head by like Toji or something. Like that's wasted potential. Because it's like we could have seen so much from Unlimited Void, but no, Gojo's potential was 100% realized in his fight against Sukuna.
Brandon, I just forgot. She fought Shigamo.
She didn't she?
I forgot about that.
And she got cooked by Shigamo.
It's all right. When you think Shigamo, right? One or two things will pop up. Well, one of a couple, but for that episode,
I think Mr. Wallahi.
No. But specifically, right? If it's either that or the Nanami hair pulling, you're gonna remember the Nanami hair pulling.
Yeah, that's fair. Dude, I completely forgot she did that, bro.
I know. It just hit
like that. That speaks to how her character was utilized. Like I can't call that wasted potential because no one's like, oh, where's Nobara? Like, oh, I wonder what Nobara would do in this situation. So I don't know.
Lose.
Nah, I'd die.
No, that implies the opposite.
So I don't know. Maybe I cooked above my means there, but if I got my idea across as to why I think saying
I get what you mean. Yeah, what you're saying is she got jobbed in the story since her initial conception.
Yeah, I don't think that she ever had the potential to where I would say it was wasted.
Like wasted wasted potential would be like Yuki.
Yes, absolutely, Yuki.
Wasted potential would be like Yuki. No potential would be like Nobara. That's not trying to, that's not trying to give like a backhanded like insult or compliment or whatever. That's not trying to imply like anything. But it's just like if Nobara, in the context of how the story is being written, was not set up for anything more, then yeah, like that. But with Yuki, right? Yuki had a lot more that it felt like she was building up to. But she only existed so Kenjaku could show off his cool new anti-gravity boots.
Look. I love Kenny. I love Kenny so much, and I love Greg. He has dropped the ball a couple of times, and Yuki Tsukumo is a very good example because Greg pulled that out of his ass because he was like, "How is Kenjaku going to beat her? Oh yeah, she has a gravity curse technique." Well, back in the day when I was taking back shots to Jin Itadori, I had anti-gravity.
Man.
This was good.
Yeah,
Honestly, this is gonna sound bad. I've had a much more enjoyable time talking about the episode than I did watching it.
Honestly, like just watching the episode, it just felt so like all right. The adaptation of everything that happened was fine. Like the literal adaptation,
it was a great adaptation.
Material. But just the content itself. I mean, like if you're adapting something that isn't that interesting, I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're translating it to add more oomph to it.
Yeah.
And just ultimately with Nobara, I mean, there could have been more with her, right? Like she doesn't, it's not like the Chainsaw Man trio where you see that and you're like, yes, I'm stimulated, I'm engaged watching these three goofballs. Like they have a similar goofball energy.
There is never a scene that will match Dennis and Power being like, "Fuck you, Aki. Yeah, fuck you," and then Aki holding out 2 sticks of gum and them going, "All right, you've convinced me into it."
With all that,
there's nothing like that in Jujutsu Kaisen. Nothing to that level in Jujutsu Kaisen.
With all that culminating to spoilers for Chainsaw Man, with all that culminating to like Aki's at the door, and then that happening,
and then Power's at the door. Lol.
Like, wait, who's at the door?
Power.
Oh, just stop answering doors in these fucking shows. Anyway, with
Ashley with Josh.
with Nobara, right?
Wait, so if we're talking about like Chainsaw Man, can I like am I allowed to be involved in the discussion?
Yeah, of course.
You can throw in your
awesome. No freaking way. I'm so. Well, I don't know what we've been talking about. Like, I don't know why we're talking about Chainsaw Man. So.
Okay, Trevor.
I was mentioning. Are you catching him up, Kyle?
No, I wasn't gonna catch him up at all. I was just gonna explain to him some other stuff.
Yeah.
That
would never happen though. That would never happen though. Because Power's a good
part of
character.
the video, then obviously there's something you like. So make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us what you thought about this episode, and maybe your thoughts on Nobara. Is certainly a character of all time. Join the Discord, link in description. You can hang out with us or not. I don't know. I don't care. Thank you all for watching. We hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So you're gonna say bye.
Oh, okay, bye.